Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Talking Horses. He's Anthony Stabile, I'm Andy Serling, and we are glad to be back at Belmont Park as Talking Horses resumes. Week number 2 gets underway today. Want to get some business out of the way first and let you know the best way to play the races, always play them through NYRA Bets, and we've extended that 5% bonus on all wagers made at Belmont today. We want to extend that through today. Obviously, we had some difficulties over the weekend. Want to say thank you to our great players. Free $25 play plus a $100 deposit match up to $200. New members only. Use the promo code Belmont25. And Anthony, welcome back to Talking Horses. Your first Talking Horses since March 8th. My first one since March 7th.
How are you, pal?
I'm good. How about you?
I've been looking forward to this day for a very long time.
You even got a haircut for it, and you gave me a haircut for it.
I gave you a haircut. We raised some money for the BCCA and the TRF. My buddy Phil, my best friend, who I spent 75 of the last 80 days with, took the Mohawk off last night.
Does he get something special? Does he get like a present or something?
Well, he actually gave me a lollipop.
He should get some of my lunches.
He should get some of your lunches.
Everybody thinks I should drop lunch on you. I should be giving them to Phil.
Him and my mom should, for dealing with me for the better part of the last 2.5 months.
There's a special place for your mom.
Yes, and my stepfather, Pete. I've been looking forward to this day for a very, very long time. Just so happens to be my partner's birthday today, so a very happy birthday, Andy. Many, many
Appreciate
more.
I've already had many.
And yeah, well, I hope you have many more. And I mean, what better gift could I give you than me on your birthday?
It is hard to imagine a better gift.
No,
than
nothing
you.
bigger. Certainly not a bigger gift.
No,
but I probably couldn't bring you a better
get
gift.
a bigger gift, but I appreciate
missed you.
Well, I haven't exactly gone away. We've
no,
been
I
talking
understand.
quite a
And
bit.
we talked quite a bit, but the polls were amazing throughout the hiatus and bringing everything back now, of course, with our America's Day at the Races shows. And
of course, the show will be on every day, covering all the races, 1 to 6:30 today between MSG Plus as well as Fox Sports 2.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up
the
horse racing radio network. We did not miss a day. Mike and Michelle Penna kept us all rolling and working as we had races to cover, and didn't miss a day. Very proud of that.
We got 10 to cover today.
Let's do it.
So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Race number 1, these are maiden claimers, and they're going 6 furlongs. You know, I have a replay that I'm going to show because I think it is a relevant replay because I think it involves the speed here. And it's not a horse that either one of us particularly interested in, but are you concerned with Ink Block's speed? Because this horse has some ability, and can he get the same out of this horse that the previous barn did?
You know, I was kind of waiting for Point of Humor. Now, I know this horse is a lot faster, but kind of waiting to see what Point of Humor did. Point of Humor ran last week, and Point of Humor is going to play today. So I'm hoping that at the very least he can keep Ink Splots a little company. Ink Splots is fast.
He can't run with Ink Block.
No, he can't. You gotta worry about, and this is where the layoffs start to come into play, right? The 3.5 months. You start to worry about that. This horse is, it's only 6, but...
Don't you also worry that Point of Humor is a horse that has very good turf form, and he ran so poorly last week that going back to a surface that's not his preferred surface, he's hard to bet off a terrible performance last week.
Yeah, no, I don't like him. I'm just saying...
You're starting your special birthday present to me is you're going to pick every single horse that Bill Mott entered. You know, Bill, you could have made it easy for Anthony. If you just entered one in every race, Anthony wouldn't have had a handicap. He could just pick 10 Bill Mott horses.
Here we go.
But he did the best he could, Bill. He's trying to keep you from ever winning your 5,000th race.
49.98.
He's picked all your horses. So Eagles Palace. I have a stat for Eagles Palace for Bill Mott that you might not like. Not very good numbers for our friend Bill Mott going turf to dirt with maiden claimers.
Yeah,
we need an update on that. I think Bill's about 20 in that picture.
That's a great pick. That's probably like 3 days after Cigar won the 20.
I think it was about 10 years before Cigar was born.
1995 Classic here at Belmont. Yeah, I mean, it's not a great number. Look, this horse has...
You don't think?
I don't think. This horse has some recency, though, and the recency is important to me, especially with the maidens and the horses in for the tags, especially. This horse has a couple of turf routes under his belt. He's going to be listed as a gelding. He's been gelded for a while. He's raced previously as a gelding.
Were you there for the gelding?
I was not, no.
Well, you are close to the barn, clearly.
Yes, but I was not there for the gelding. He gets Rosario. He cuts back. This horse ran against some nice horses on dirt in his first 2 starts up at Saratoga last summer. I just wanted him.
He can win, as can the 9 Warfront Fighter. Both these horses are dropping from maiden special, maiden claimer, and dirt races. Now, Mott's horse has been in claiming races, but not on the dirt, and both of them can win. Warfront Fighter, one of the reasons I didn't pick Warfront Fighter at all is that Irad Ortiz is riding him. And Irad Ortiz, who apparently can drift in, drift out, and do whatever he wants out on the racetrack, his horses are getting dramatically overbet in races. And he's had a great week last week, but he's taking just a ridiculous amount of money. He was favored on a horse that ran third the other day. It actually didn't run badly. That I have no idea I was
It
favored.
was happening all winter at Gulfstream, and then I thought it would go away once he came back to Belmont.
There's 10 Hall of Fame riders in the room, and they're acting like Irad Ortiz is running against the guys that are running at a C-level racetrack.
There's guys in the Hall of Fame and guys that are certainly going to be in the Hall of Fame, and he just it's 2 points. It's at least a point and a half.
I haven't seen anything since Ramon was riding here in the winter,
That's
and
exactly
it's not the same type of situation. I took Tri St. Lorenzo, a horse that I've always thought had some ability. He's been a bit of a bad actor, but I thought he was actually kind of dangerous in this race, dropping down for the first time, and I'm hoping Tri St. Lorenzo on the drop down can get it done, and he's a horse that will be a much, much better price
He'll be a nice
than the others. Race number 2, I think you and I ended up in the same spot. I had a lot of trouble with this race, to be honest. There were some races today that I really had trouble and I struggled with. Here's Blacktop Legends, race 2 back. I don't believe he's as good as the 88 buyer he ran, and I thought he was one of the biggest jokes of all time at 6-5 last time out. But I still think he's okay, and I thought he and Stage Left were the main 2 players in this race.
Yeah, I went to Blacktop Legend as well last time out. Probably just facing a little too tough for him.
Rail was good that day as well, and the winner was able to take advantage and wire the field.
Yeah, the other the 2 prior races, even the maiden win, that 78 makes him a player, and here the 88 puts him over the top.
Well, he's not running the 88. I don't believe that's an accurate figure.
He's probably not.
I don't think it's an inaccurate figure. I think it's an accurate description of the race. I think it came up a very fast race, but I don't think it jives the talent of the other horses in there. And I think his 75 is closer to where he is, 75 to 78. But that number may be good enough to win here. You don't like Stage Left at all here.
You know, I didn't know what to do with Stage Left. I'm assuming he's going to be aggressively ridden out of there and be on the front end. But doesn't he have a lot of horses that have to chase him around there?
Think he's faster than Who's in Charge in here?
I think he can get in front of Who's in Charge.
I don't.
Well,
it's close.
There's been a lot of time between drinks for Who's in Charge. It is close.
I don't like Who's in Charge. You like him. I've got him 4th. I think he beat up on absolutely nobody last time.
I don't disagree with that, but I also think if I think Stage Left's going to get in front of him, and maybe some other horses can do the dirty work. I know Who's in Charge won both of his races on the front end.
Okay, so we're at 46 lunches.
Here it is.
I will.
So there's the answer to your question, Scott. There'll be no forgiveness on lunch. There'll be plenty of loan forgiveness, no lunch forgiveness.
There's no lunch forgiveness here. What are you guys talking about, this lunch forgiveness?
I didn't say a word.
I think actually Anthony should give me more lunches because of the break.
Here we go.
I'll bet you a lunch that Who's in Charge is in front of Stage Left, assuming neither gets left more than a length.
Deal.
Okay.
You got it.
4/6 at the quarter.
Opening quarter.
Okay.
Got it.
All right, the first lunch bet since the hiatus.
Now we're back.
What about Vintage Hollywood? You think that horse is impossible in here? I don't. I mean, the Notas obviously do good work. He is a bit of a hanger, though. That was some brutal hang.
And don't you think he wants a little bit more ground? I don't know if he wants the mile. I don't know if 6.5. I'm thinking maybe 7. I don't know if the 6.5 is enough for him.
I don't know.
He doesn't really have any sprint wins.
But he was a different horse back then.
He was.
And I don't have any problem with cutbacks and distance. I have problems with stretches. I don't have problems with cutbacks.
Okay.
Race number 3 is another race that I had a great deal of trouble with in race number 3. I think a horse will take a lot of money, personally, because actually it's not Irad, it's Eric Cancel, is Dangerous Edge. I am not a big fan of Dangerous Edge. Here's him breaking his maiden last time out. Was claimed by Toscanos. I don't like this field he ran with last time. That was a bad Todd Pletcher horse. Came back, did no running, I think, off a claim in his next start here last week. I'm not a big fan.
It wasn't a great field, but don't you have to like the way this horse did this? And it's not like he hadn't run a race. You know, it's not like you could say, well, where did this race come from? Because, in fact, he had run a faster race, excuse me, last fall right here at Belmont Park.
So snatched defeat.
It's probably
victory out of the jaws of defeat.
It's probably more to your point. I'm not so sure what he beat was that good last time. And, you know.
So you like the 1A luxury suite?
I'm taking, he's a fresh gelding. I don't know. I don't even know what to do with this bunch. I had a tough time like you did. Playing early pick 4, early pick 5. I only used 5 or 6 of them. I know he's going to lose value because he's part of an entry. But I just took a little shot with him.
I'll be honest, I won't be shocked with anybody here. You know, I don't bet entries, so I'm not going to play that entry. We'll see what Ventus does off the claim. I'm hoping Irad blasts off with future booking here, to be honest. I don't know if he can because there are faster horses in this race, but he's kind of got to go from the rail. I know that figure's a little suspect 3 races back. I know he's a 3-year-old facing olders. I'm just hoping this horse can just blast off out of here. I don't think he ran that badly last time, and thought maybe this horse had some more upside than the others. Probably an IRAD horse will get over bet like all the others. I was lost in here. I would have picked mandatory payout on top, but mandatory payout just doesn't win.
Just doesn't win. I've tried him a half a dozen times. He just doesn't win.
Just doesn't win. I don't disagree. Race number 4 of our 10-race card today, and, of course, the pick 5 in race number 1, as well as the late in race number 6. We're going a mile and 16. Keep in mind, one of the reasons MTOs have been left in is there's a possibility of some storms moving through. It's not a huge possibility. I'll look where my phone is lately. Last week, they said 100% on Wednesday and Friday. We got, like, next to nothing. And Saturday was supposed to be nothing. There was a slight chance. And Saturday, we got crushed about 3 different times. I left the set. Literally, it was sunny out. I was in my office a few minutes later, and it was pouring out.
We had a quick meeting on Wednesday before the races began, before we got back. I wanted to stay to watch the first, but I was afraid of the thunderstorms. I've been doing radio from home
Never came home. Never came.
Never came. And then Saturday, like you said, wash, sloppy.
Now it is just 50% between 2 and 4.
Yeah, so we were supposed to have some rain this morning. That went away, and now it's midday.
When the app says 100%, how much do you want to get down at like 200, 300, 500 to 1?
Big money.
For a few bucks.
Big money.
100%.
Big money.
Right. You know when it's 100%?
It never rains when
you know when it's 100%? When it's raining.
You know when it's 100%? When they say 80.
No, it's 100% when it's actually raining.
It's like
race number 4. You know, I'm surprised by the morning line because we'll look at Own It If You Want It first in here, who you don't have in the top 4.
He's my
I
famous,
actually thought this horse could be
pick.
favored. I picked this horse last time. I'm still smarting from the beat. Picks up Kendrick. Isn't he lone speed in here? How do you not have this horse in your top 4?
He's the infamous 5th pick.
I don't care with the 5th pick. How is he not in your top 4?
I worry about these horses coming back from these 4-month breaks.
They're all coming off 4-month breaks. Stop.
That. I think it's tougher. This is something that's going to come into play.
First voodoo moment of the new talking horses.
I think it's tougher to win on the front end off the break than it is from off the pace.
How many horses won on the front end off the layoff last week? You got the numbers?
No,
Let's
think
take a look.
overall,
I'm guessing
I'm not going to
good.
go on 1 week, Andy. I'm just saying overall.
What
when
are you going on? Do you have any stats to back this up?
Overall, when I handicap a race, I don't ordinarily want speed.
Don't win off layuffs.
No, I
closers
ordinarily don't want speed. And this horse is 0 for 8. It's not like he hasn't had
Has anybody else ever heard the no speeds off layoffs
You don't think in your life? Forget about.
No, I don't agree with you at all. And until you give me numbers and give me some proof, no, I don't believe you.
Horses win off the pace. You don't think it's tough to win off?
No.
Man, a straight mile on the 16th with a 4.5 furlong straight run to the first turn. You want a horse that's 0 for 8 to have to try to.
I really think seriously that Hervé Villachez should be yelling to plane with your fantasy island.
He's all yours, my man. He's all yours.
I think he's a major, major threat in this race, as is the 7 Cousin Andrew, named after my friend Andrew, actually. Not named after me. I'm not a cousin. I'm a cousin of somebody, unfortunately for them. But and Cousin Andrew will take a look at him last time. I do think he's the horse to be. He's got some upside, and I don't know how strong that field was last time. He's going to be overbet, but he's probably the horse to beat.
The mod horse that won, Will Sing for Wine, was well meant in Florida the time before. Came up here. They changed things up.
Not run well in a subsequent race.
He did not last week. He did not run well last week.
And he wasn't a speed. He didn't run well. So
yeah, he did not run well in that loaded allowance race last week. And Cousin Andrew keeps coming at him. He kind of did the same thing in his 6 furlong debut. Here he is at the mile on the stretch out 5.5 weeks later after he got beat by 6 though. Now. Yeah, there's bees. We got rock music in our ear. It's a happening time.
Get yelled at by John.
Yeah, he can win. He can obviously win.
Oh, you've got Sugar on top, stretching out.
Listen, I was covering the Sugar race on Red Brand Radio on HRN last time, and obviously I'm watching them while the listeners can only hear them. I wanted to bet this horse back. I assumed this horse would be here at Belmont at a mile or a mile and a 16th. I liked a lot of things about his race. Now he's drawn outside. I would think, well, I don't think he really knew what was going on the first half of the race. I don't think he got a particularly good ride that day. And I would be very surprised if this horse isn't more forwardly placed.
Has anybody ever at Tampa gotten a good ride?
This was at a run where Suge got like 3 rides in a row.
Let me tell you something. Compared to most of the rides I see at Tampa, this was a Hall of Fame ride. Compared to most of the rides I see at Tampa.
Okay.
He did break a little slow, this horse, and he kind of got stayed out briefly on the backstretch. But he ran fine. He hung, though, in the late stages. Shug has good numbers for what it's worth. Stretching out in the dirt, he's 10 for 43, 23% with a 244 ROI. So he's got good stretch out numbers, and I think he's a dangerous horse as well. I've got him in the mix, but he's going to have to get faster. But I think he's dangerous in here. You know what horse is funny is the 4. The number 4, Uncle Moonlight. What do we have till 35 before? I'm trying to figure it out. Uncle Moonlight. Why is she running this horse long?
So strange, right?
Fast workouts and the bred to go shorter.
Half to By the Moon, half to Wonderful Light. Now stretching. Mile on the 16th, first time out.
Got some pedigree.
Yeah, it's a curious move, to say the least.
Race number 5, a major player came out in Spice is Nice. Somebody tweeted to me, what happened to Spice is Nice?
You weren't walking hots for Todd this morning?
I was going to go back to the bar, and my other job, walking hots for Todd. Todd, sorry, I didn't make it this morning. I apologize to the people at the Pleasure Bar and get over there. And the Spice is Nice as well. I'm really sorry. I meant to call you to see how you were doing.
You rub her, right?
We're in constant contact. We text, we tweet. We have a whole thing going on, me and Spice is Nice. But she won't be playing. I thought she was vulnerable in this race, actually. Oh, a Shug double. You got Mott, Shugs, all your boys. Let me ask you a question, Alondra, and she can absolutely win this race. Aren't you getting a little sick of her?
The divorce,
today or
the
now or
divorce
never,
papers.
enough?
The divorce papers are on the back of race 4 on my racing form.
She didn't run that badly in her Florida
races.
Didn't. Last time out, she ran against a good horse and up in smoke.
Blinkers go on.
That's a Cheech and Chong on that horse?
Yeah.
That's a great movie. That's the first concert I ever saw. Cheech and Chong at Alexander Hall and Princeton University in the early 70s. First concert I ever saw.
Well, did the old Belmont Park count? Remember the concerts in the park
we
where
don't have
the
time
arena
for this
is?
gibberish.
Yeah. Billy Joel for me. I'm hoping the blinkers go on,
So
the
disappointing.
gate opens, and Joel Rosario puts her on the lead today and just keeps on going.
I think Billy Joel's one of the last concerts I ever saw. I saw him at the
First
Garden.
was 92.
My friend John last year.
I'm just hoping she went gate to wire in her debut. I'm hoping they go back.
Do you think she's going to be involved in the pace?
I think she's going to be in front.
Okay, she's not.
Who's going to be in front of a Kansas Kiss?
I think there's a better question, actually. Who's
is not going to be?
She's not going to be in front here. You're in Never Never Land.
Okay.
This horse should be in front, though. Ray. Okay, I'll bet you Alondra's not in the top 3. I'll bet you 2 lunches on that.
In the first quarter of a mile?
Yeah.
Yeah, bet.
Okay.
You're looking to give these all back to me by way of just beating you for them?
Anthony, there's people at home that want my side, trust me, and there's nobody going, boy, do I wish I could have got sucker
I just don't understand how
money.
you don't think stretching out with the blinkers on, she's not going to be aggressively ridden
She was
today.
so far. She was, you know what? I must be a little confused because she was right on top of the pace in both the Alcibiades
What about
and the
Two-Back?
Demoiselle. Whatever. Okay, anyway, I don't think she'll be part of the pace. I do think this horse, Kansas Kiss, I think the Kansas Kiss is the horse to beat. If she runs back to this race in the Busher that we're showing here, she's going to win here. You know, this was a case where Eric Cancel gave the right ride, and it turned out to be the wrong ride. He went after Lake Avenue. What are you supposed to do? Let the 3 to 5 shot?
No.
Is the speed go? No, he did. He went after. Problem was Lake Avenue, the bottom fell out so fast, and Eric found himself in front. And this race got very, very late. And the horse who beat him, Water White, was too big a price. Is not a bad horse for Rudy.
No, she's not bad at all. She ran well all winter long, and this was a good effort by Kansas Kiss. Now we see her. She went down to Oaklawn. She wasn't going to deal with those fillies. That filly that won that race was turning
Right.
into
She
a nice
she just had a
little
no-shot trip anyway. She had trouble at the start. The whole field, except for the first 2, got eliminated. Though somebody told me that the winner of that race could win the Derby or the Belmont. Craziness. Just because a filly wins filly races doesn't mean that they're beating the boys.
They did late nominate her for $3,000 last Wednesday.
Yes. Money well spent. I'm going to take a shot with Master of Hope in here. I know she's a little slow, but I don't trust Alondra, and she can win Alondra. I'm not in any way suggesting she can't. She can come from 6th and win this race. And Kansas Kiss scares me a lot.
Well.
She's good, but the speed is either 4 or 6 here, Anthony. There is a chance that Alondra's 3rd. There's no chance she's 1-2, unless a horse doesn't get out of the gate. No chance. I liked Master Hope's first race, and I think this horse is going to want more distance, spread for more distance, and I like the way this horse won first time. This is a tougher spot. But that wasn't a bad field last time, and I think this horse is okay. And Master Hope, today's the day to get a little bit of a price on her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's better than Chad's horse. I don't like Sarah de la Fere, Chad's horse, at all. You've got her 2nd because you're afraid Chad will yell at you if you don't pick her. But how is she going to win this race?
Why can't? Well, if you
Her
can
first
make a
race
case,
was terrible.
If you can make a case for Master of Hope, why can't you make a case for this filly?
Because I don't like the field that she beat last time. I don't want this horse. I think my horse is more likely to want more distance.
Okay.
Now,
I'll give you that. I will say
your
that.
horse is also Chad Brown. So your horse is half the price of my horse just because of the trainer.
I also have 2.5 months of recency on your horse.
But my horse isn't a speed
horse
horse,
hasn't
so
run
it
in
shouldn't
4
really
months.
matter.
Here
It
we
was
go.
a
It's not ever. It's not
the
all. Why
speed.
you get a hold of something and it's like a chew toy.
When you say something dumb to me,
It's
I
not
don't
dumb.
ever let it go. I just don't let it go. It's
Believe
voodoo.
me, we know this, my friend.
You know,
so
I'm
good
like
to
a
be
dog
back
with a
here
bone.
right now. So
Keep in
good
mind,
to
the
be back
MTOs
here.
are still in race 6, as we explained. We're waiting to see in the weather. Obviously, we'll make a decision as soon as we can. Hopefully sooner than later, guys. I'm with you on that. Okay,
Look, okay.
Anthony, I've been waiting a long time. Turpeye, is there a tip? Are you a big fan of Michael Moore's movies?
No.
And you thought it was the trainer that?
I'm not a fan of Michael Moore's movies.
I talked to him one day actually for a while. He was really nice.
I was in the
Cafe
box.
Lux 3 years
I
ago.
was in a luxury box at City Field next to him. He was with Bill Maher.
You did. Not a fan of Bill Maher's, but
I was with Dan Mason from HRN.
You didn't like Roger and Me?
No.
Oh, Roger and Me's great. Anyway, go ahead.
I do not. When last seen on Talking
Very
Horses,
little water run.
not the biggest fan of betting a horse because you don't like the rest of them, except in the case where the horse is going to be 20-1 like this horse. Dan was 6 for 36, earned 152,000 on the turf. Dominus was 1 for 2 on the grass. I don't love
He won
anything.
at Saratoga, right?
Yeah, he won the Baruch.
Baruch.
I don't love
Lone
any
speed.
small field,
Lone
five or
was
6.
he wasn't off a layoff though, so he was.
No, he wasn't off
higher in the
layoff.
field.
He had a race or 2 under his belt. This guy don't stop, man. It's so great to be back, though.
She is a half to one bad horse that won on the turf out of 3 to try it.
Look,
I remember the dam. She raced around here, no acronyms, didn't she?
Yeah. Do you really love anybody in here?
No, that's
you know
a
what I
fair
mean?
point. Anthony, I'm not knocking a long shot first time on the turf. It's not.
I'm going to use
this
4
actually,
horses in a pick
I
5.
knew why you
but
picked the horse, and this is not the most ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm teasing you. Because we'll take a look at Merlin's Muse last time. Listen, you picked the horse second, and I ended up with her on top. You know, like I do, that all things being equal, she's supposed to win this race.
No question about it. No question about it.
I don't disagree. I don't trust her at all. And this second-place finish, frankly, by her was no great shakes. You know, she's okay. Her good races beat these. I took her. I couldn't make a case. But you're right. You've got you've got horse first on the turf like Making Out is going to get bet off dirt form, but you've got the one that has much more turf pedigree.
Yeah.
I can't argue that.
No, I
like
wanted
to.
a little bit of a different look in here. I don't trust any of the ones, Teletype and Cape
Doesn't
Cod
Teletype's
Diva.
chances get much moved up, though, with the scratch of the number 4 in this race, Tappan Z, because Teletype's going to find herself on a loose lead here.
She's supposed to. Yeah, and you would think it helps
And
her
she's
cause.
not, well, she's off a layout.
She's the kind of horse that you're supposed to.
Where do you go with 7 on the turf with his lone speed?
You want to go 7? You want to try and take him 7 wide to wire on the turf? Be my guest. That's on you too.
You don't have that horse in the top 4?
I have her 5th.
You don't. Once again, you don't have her in the top 4.
I don't.
Trying to get clear on that. Okay. I think she's very, very dangerous, especially the scratch, as well as Wings of Fury. Wings of Fury sounds like it could be like an old Bruce Lee movie.
Yes.
See those Bruce Lee movies? Fists of Fury.
That's Fist of Fury. Yeah.
When I first moved to Saratoga, the old community theater, which is people know sort of where it is. I think it's a real estate place now, on Broadway across from the Hilton. They used to show, back before they started showing first movies, they show these random double features, and they'd show like Bruce Lee double features.
Movies. Watched a lot of them. At my
Burt
cousin's house
Lancaster.
when
I
I was a
remember
kid.
seeing Valdez's coming and
Wow.
like that. Now, my dad and I would take me to all these great movies. Anyway, race number 6 kicks off the late pick 5. What a carryover last week. That was pretty exciting. That was something. Well, we had all the short prices on day 1, and then second day was like an explosion. Race number 7. Let's take a look at the entire race that Chestertown ran last time. The horse you and I have second is going to be a heavy, heavy favorite with Irad. He is the one horse in this race. Before the Louisiana Derby, this horse got a rotten trip. He got left.
2 back,
and he's easy to see as we talk about the race because he's the gray. Not only is it no pace, not only is he get left and is he out of position, he was out of position the entire way, in trouble the whole way. You'll see it while the 2 dopes up here talk about the race. You can see him throwing his head. He's the horse to beat. But I got to tell you something. I'm getting a little tired of him, and I guess you can't fault them for going out of town because they raced and we didn't, though they only ran 1 race after us. I thought they should have left this horse in New York.
Well, they went chasing the Kentucky Derby, and when you pay $2 million for a horse, that's in all likelihood what you're going to do. They went chasing the Derby. I cannot blame them for that. You can chase the Derby though against New York breds here in New York until the Wood Memorial. Obviously not this year. In any event, yeah, this horse gets into this is not a good trip for a horse like him. And again, we both have him second, and he makes a lot of sense today. But I kind of feel like the same with you. Even though he probably didn't belong in the Louisiana Derby, and
He might just be better. He might just be better than these
Blackberry
horses.
Wine
To be
just got
fair,
loose on them
he
three
might just
back.
be better. This was a very good effort. The races 3 and 2 back, this one in particular, I thought were very, very good effort. He was just and it's all because he got left. I mean, Ricardo did everything he could after getting left, but once he got left, and and the pace is slow. I mean, it's just you are doomed to have a bad trip.
Absolutely.
And this race is sort of handicapping 101 about the problem of trips, of starts. You know how important starts are. Anyway, let's get back because we do have to keep moving along. The 7 Yankee Division. Why do you like Yankee Division?
Yankee Division is supposed to be in front of these horses today, isn't he? Now I know that goes against my whole.
No, oh my God!
It goes against it.
Wait a
it
second.
does go against it. But
Anthony's
I can't
taking
imagine,
8.5 furlongs, so you don't even believe in your own nonsense.
No, I do. I just number one horse is one horse is an 0 for 8 maiden. The other horses only had a.
So you do.
No, what I'm saying to you is this:
present.
I don't think this horse is going to have to blast out of there.
Okay, why else do you like him? You just like him because he's going to be in front.
That last race, I mean, I think Freaky Styley is.
The reason to actually like this horse is he's coming out of a meltdown. And it's very, very rare to have horses that come out of true meltdowns where the paces absolutely and totally incinerate, and one horse is able to almost survive the meltdown. And Yankee Division did something that Rachel Alexandra did when she won the Woodward. Holy Bull did when he won the Travers. And some people don't understand when they talk about Rachel, they say, oh, who did she beat? They don't understand what she actually did in that race. People who understand how race develop understand what she did in the Preakness. She dueled with Big Drama, who went on to win a Breeders' Cup Sprint. These were remarkable achievements by one of the truly remarkable horses of a lifetime. And Yankee Division almost survived a meltdown last time. That's why he ran incredibly last time. And at the end of the day, his last race, in my opinion, is every bit, if not better, as good than the 86 Buyer he ran 2 back. And it legitimizes that race, and it may not look like it. This was a truly remarkable performance. And horses that run, I don't care if he ran 5th beat in 6 lengths, I'd be picking him here. But to have almost survived this pace duel, the other horse was virtually eased. He finished almost 19 lengths behind him. This is a horse that ran extremely well in his last 2 starts, and he can win this race.
I want to say there was a Jimmy Ferraro horse that took a run on him as well on the turn. I mean, he dealt with
He was incredible.
a half a dozen of the horses in this race at one point. And like you said, he gets beat less than a length.
30 minutes, actually. My timing's off. I keep thinking post is 120. It's 115.
115.
I agree. He ran great. Now, let me ask you a question, though. You don't have Our Last Buck anywhere. Doesn't it occur to you that Our Last Buck ran a huge number when they stretched him out to a mile, and maybe he's been crying out for distance his whole career, and he comes from a terrific barn in Michelle Nevin? You're not scared? I mean, I know he's got some speed, and he's got to go 8.5, but you've forgiven it for Yankee.
I don't like what he beat last time. Now, I know he did it the right way.
I don't care who he beat.
Right. I know he did it the right way.
You've got him behind Danny California. What's up with Danny California? He's not impossible.
No, he's not impossible. I want to see Our Last Buck do it again. And maybe the blinkers have helped. The last 2 races he's gotten a little quicker.
I think you're being very, very... listen, I don't believe the morning line is accurate here. There's absolutely no way the Yankee Division is going to be 8-1 in here.
Can't be. I didn't have a morning line.
Not a chance. He's going to be at a similar price to Our Last Buck.
And if I'm being honest
all due
here,
respect to David, I don't agree with that line.
If I'm going to spread in the 6th, I'm going to go thin here. I'm using 4s and 7s really and just trying to get through.
I have a little 5 in there somewhere. It's not an easy sequence. Race number 8 is very complicated. Anthony even further complicated it by picking the second of his 3 Mott selections in race number 8. What is it about Tankerville you like? Bill's great record with those Euros?
Bill doesn't run a lot of Euros.
He's 3 for 16 with foreign shippers on the turf. First time Lasix and routes, the $1.32 ROI. Not a bad record, but nothing special. What is good about this horse's European form?
Only other foal is the good old Flavius, the toughest luck horse of 2020. This one's by Kitten's Joy. Ran a mile and a quarter, 2 starts back on the.
Flavius been very unlucky.
Yeah, very unlucky. You see the breaks into form, but now you get first-time Lasix. We all remember, of course, his mare Star Former was very good going these marathon distances. I wanted a little bit of a look.
Exactly a marathon at 10 furlongs.
It's a marathon-ish.
No, marathon's a mile and 3/8 at least.
I like to go on a mile and a quarter.
I'm sorry, but you're not getting any support on that. I guarantee. If we had a Twitter poll on that, you'd be a big loser. Mile and a quarter is not a marathon, Anthony. It's a route. It's a true route.
So what are you going marathon? Mile and 3/8? The
Yeah, I
flat
mean,
out's
I
a
would
marathon?
almost say at least mile and 3/8, but more like a half or 5/8.
Okay.
Just because we don't really run them anymore doesn't mean it changes the definition.
You might be right about that.
Yeah,
I think
10
I think
furlongs, not
that
a marathon.
I think I can win that Twitter poll.
A marathon is poor Belmont trying to get those 2 wins to 5,000 with you picking every one of his
Lot of
horses.
weight.
I don't like this horse even a little bit.
Okay.
I don't think he's run well in Europe, and I'd be very surprised if he's effective here. He did draw well on the inside. I mean, you've got some okay horses in here. Here's Value Engineering's last race. I mean, what's wrong with him? Isn't he just perfectly
Nothing at
logical
all.
in here?
There's nothing at all wrong with him. He's off the 9 months. We've seen some layoff lines on his card already, but
You know,
there's
after
nothing
you
wrong with him.
got thanked for your incredible loyalty in picking all these Klarovich horses, right away you're picking against them. I mean,
Two
you
of
went to
them. I
Mott.
picked
You
against
showed
cousin-
that
I
you're-
picked against cousin
yeah,
Andrew,
yeah,
too.
you did. Suga and Mott over those horses. That'll be remembered.
We had a nice good morning, and yeah, well, I mean, listen, this is what it is. But
He
it's
hung a
another
little
spread
on the
race.
money here. I'll give him that.
Yeah, just a
The
little
others
bitty.
came back. I mean,
Hobo
I ran
came back.
2-3 for a fortune. In that
Hobo
race.
had just been
That's why I showed that.
Hobo had just been gelded recently around that time.
What about the 2 horses from Clement? Here's a funny thing. Clement with Mini P, a year plus in turf routes. He's 3 for 11 with a nice ROI of almost 550. But 4 to 8 month layoffs in turf routes like Mr. Alec, and we'll look at Mr. Alec's last rate. He does not have great numbers coming off these layoffs, though. Mr. Alec, I mean, he lost to a horse last in this race we look at here, cross border, who would be about odds on in this race.
No question about it. And he tried to take the fight to cross border this day. Joel Rosario put him on the front end, and he's going to lose this ding-dong battle. This was a really good effort by him. Another horse we haven't seen now for a while. I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be on the lead today. I think the Kumar is going to have the lead to himself.
Kumar's the
this
fastest
afternoon.
horse in this race.
No
Early, how
question
they
about
don't
it.
go.
So I think that helps Mr. Alec's cause because he gets to do what he probably would prefer to do, and that's sit off, come from a couple 3 lengths off the lead and make one run. I think that's the trip he's destined for today. I wanted to use a few in here because I really didn't like how Value Engineering hung on the money last time out. Obviously taking a little shot with the fresh
Those are
face.
pretty good horses, though, in
Yeah,
Hobo and the others.
Mr.
in
Alec
that
can
race.
win.
Obviously, a very tough week for the Clement barn off the racetrack, and all of us they're in their thoughts, and a tough week. But on the racetrack, a very good week for Christophe.
Nice
who had
Sunday,
3 wins,
especially, yeah.
Very, very good week for Christophe, whose barn had been a little slow, but they really picked it up. I like Tie of the Sea in this race. I actually like this horse as a private purchase from Juddmonte, going to Mike Maker. The very astute purchase by 3 Diamonds. I think this horse will be forwardly placed here. I wish Irad wasn't riding because I think the horse will take money just because Irad's riding. But this horse only needs to improve a little bit, and I think this is the classic kind of horse that Mike Maker does well with. I really like the number 10 Tie of the Sea in this race. I think he's the perfect spot as an upsetter, a mild upsetter in this race. But it's not going to be easy. Can No Word be effective stretching out here for Todd Pletcher? He did not get the best of a trip. It's a bit of a wide trip last time out.
He didn't have the best trip. He's a half to Silencio, who did his best work at around the mile distance. He got beat less than 3 lengths to Structer last year in the only other start after his maiden win, and then he was okay last time.
Structer really that
I don't
good?
know. Yeah, I don't know how much running he did last time after the wide trip. I don't know if it's the distance with him.
He didn't run badly.
He didn't run badly.
And I mean, Street Lady's okay. Life on Top got a horrific ride in that race. Oh, my God, was that a nightmare ride he got. I just don't know if he's good enough, but Life on Top got a
This is a
ridiculous ride.
very interesting race.
I agree.
It's
It's almost a
interesting
marathon,
race.
and so is the Flat Out.
It's almost
You know,
a-
I'm going to tell you what annoys me with Flat Out.
His best races were in the cigar.
Everybody thinks that he was a Belmont horse. That makes me mad because he was just a terrific horse. I
Hard
think it
knocking as they
diminishes
come.
what he did. Yeah, he ran second to Havre de Grace up in Saratoga, but he also won the Cigar Mile at Aqueduct. It just happened that the races that fit him, a lot of the races were at Belmont Park. And he won those 2 Jockey Club Gold Cups, but I'm going to say he beat a better field when he won the Cigar Mile that day at a mile. He was just a really, really out-and-out
Well, the
cool
one year
horse.
Drosselmeyer came back in 11 to win the Classic
Right.
in the Gold Cup.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was
and then he got
embarrassing
beat
moment for the
he
Breeders'
got
Cup.
beat by his own barnmate. He got beat by Ron the Greek.
He was just a terrific horse. Flat
Yeah,
out.
I was a fan.
So you didn't pick Sir Winston on top. Oh, Bill Mott's got a horse in here. I forgot. I'm
This
going
is-
to tell you something. Here's Sir Winston winning his last race at Aqueduct. I just think he's better than these horses, Anthony. I got to tell you, I looked at this race. I know he had a perfect trip in the Belmont. I know he had a good trip in this race, but I'm going to tell you something. I just think Sir Winston's gotten better, and he's going to beat these horses today.
Neither one of us liked him this day particularly. The day he's beating Musical America and Laytoni here. Neither one of us really liked him.
We're idiots.
Because we're idiots, right? We didn't like the Belmont winner in a money allowance optional claimer in the middle of the winter at Aqueduct, and they got $10 by the $10.40. He's absolutely the horse to beat in this race.
I have a question. Was he shipped to Dubai and didn't race, or did he not ship?
So
Somebody
they
should tell me that on
ran him
Twitter.
in the money allowance, and then I want to say they were pointing him to the Bernardini and decided against it.
They were going to go to Dubai.
But I don't
with
think
him.
they ever shipped them.
He definitely shipped. Yeah, my friend, he did
ship. Okay.
Yeah, I wondered about that, and I know it's been a while, but it is important to note.
Sure.
He did ship over to
No
Dubai. He
question.
didn't get to run. I think he's better than these. Before getting to your Fantasyland selection,
Okay.
you know,
Who you have
Adventus is okay. I kind of like Prompt, and I don't think he's the most ridiculous of picks. He'll be a big price. I don't see how he can win, but, you know, maybe he'll improve with distance. But Adventus is okay. I mean, you know, you looked at his last race that we're taking a look at here. This is his win in the Bernardini or Blue Rat's Fat Smile. He's the only horse that made up significant ground.
Yeah, he came running late in the game, and this was a well-measured ride by John Bozono, his regular rider, who's not here today. Manny Franco is going to climb aboard. And Uriah St. Louis and Manny Franco, of course, teamed up to win that Jockey Club Gold Cup a couple of years back with Discreet Lover together at a huge price. Yeah, you know, he's, again, at these longer distances, Andy, how about that?
Well, I actually think it's an interesting debate, the marathon
It is.
thing. It is. I didn't mean to give, I was actually serious about it. You know, I think 30 years ago, if you said a race was 10 hours a marathon, guys would have laughed you off the racetrack,
yeah.
right? It's just the game has changed.
Different
Does
game.
that mean that marathon, the definitions have changed as the game has changed? It's a reasonable discussion
Fair enough.
for another time. I get it with Prompt. Go ahead.
So this is why I
don't
want
think
Prompt.
he can win,
Prompt is
but-
a half to Newsdad and Patterson's Cross. Newsdad was a graded stakes winner going long
Graded
on the
stakes
turf.
hanger. Remember that
Yeah.
hang at Belmont
He did.
at Gulfstream one day.
Patterson's Cross got a piece of some stakes races as well. They were going long on the turf. This horse has run 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf a couple of times. He's 0 for 7 on the turf.
He should have won that
obviously a
day on
dirt
June
horse.
on June 8th.
He should have. He's obviously a dirt horse, though. I think he's proven that he's a dirt horse now, and he's never had the opportunity to go
Yeah.
a longer
That's fair.
distance, a bigger distance of ground. He's going to get the 1 mile and 3/8 today, and he's going to be 15-1.
Guys, I sent the wrong numbers in. It's supposed to be 4-9-2-1. If you could correct that, I apologize, guys. That was my fault. I corrected it. I think it's supposed to be 4-9-2-1. That's totally my fault.
They're the 3 horses I want to use.
I don't like the 8
here.
at all here.
I want to use the 1, 4, and 9. Rocketry is like honorable mention.
I just
don't know
think
what happened last
he was
year.
terrible. No, I know what happened. He was good 2 years ago, and he was bad last year.
And he ordinarily needs one off the bench anyway. So if you combine that with not getting into the winner's circle last year, that doesn't always mean you have to win to run well.
And if you like Moretti, and I know he's probably the speed, please do me a favor. Go to DRF's formulator and look up the horses he ran against in his last start.
That was some
And
field.
then say to me, I'm actually betting this horse at under 500-1 in this race, because that was
It's amazing that was a
bunch
money
he
allowance
beat.
field, because he was eligible for an A of the
And he got a
end going
very
into
good
that
ride
race.
by Javier.
A
That
great ride. The
four-wide
ride
both
won the
turns
race.
is a slightly dubious description of his trip.
Yeah.
Because it's not clear it's true, and it's just not.
I'm
really.
with you. If he
I
wins,
get it.
I'm tearing.
Prompt was my long shot in here too. I couldn't pick him on top, but I get it. Race number 10, a big scratch in here of the number 8. As of now, the MTOs are still in. The 13 gets in. What'd you do in here?
Queen Kimberly. I went to
Mopolka.
Mopolka. Yeah.
You probably could do like a mean polka. I could see.
I'm a
you.
quarter German.
You're like a very, very well-rounded
My
Renaissance, true Renaissance man.
My grandma Helen, who
have
I
you
lived with
have
most
you
of
ever
my life.
polkaed?
Yeah, I'm sure when I was a kid.
Really? Should we
Well,
ask your mom if she has
we're still in the same
video
house
of
in
you
Howard
polkaing?
Beach, and my great uncle lived across the avenue. Yeah, I'm sure I polka, be a barrel polka or something like that.
This is one of the great upsets of
Frankie
all time.
Yankovic.
Anthony is still in the same house in Howard Beach that he grew up in. One of the greatest upsets of all time.
Frankie Yankovic was like a famous polka guy. Yeah, my grandmother used to listen to the tapes all the time.
All right. I agree. With this horse. Why do you like this horse?
There's a little pedigree here. Mare was 3 for 11 with 5 seconds. Hit the exact 8 of 11 times, 180,000 rather. Source took a little money first time out. Didn't do a lot of running. But now on the turf, dropping down, a little bit of a break, like the rest of them. I don't know. She's going to be middling price, right?
I'm scratching her second. You're preaching the choir here. I'm going to tell you something. Stytown Baby, at first I thought this horse wasn't any good when I looked at that turf race. Look up that turf race. That horse actually ran very well. She made the lead too early in a race that collapsed. I thought she ran very, very well in there. And I think the Stytown Baby is just a horse that, she's just supposed to be. I mean, the rest are unknowns, and easily they could be better than her, and I'm not suggesting she's a superstar, but she's better than that 54 buyer suggests because it turned out, and I'm not blaming Declan, she did end up moving a little soon as this race came apart in the late stages, and I actually thought that was a good effort by her.
Yeah, 2, 3, 7, 10, 12 of the horses I want to use in here. Again, I don't have a strong opinion.
No nines? No Molly's Nighthawks?
No, I've
had enough chances.
Enough.
Who are the others here?
Leah Giamatti has the 10 Central Capital. Who's going to be
I have the 2 turf
price.
winners, but they were not very good.
No.
This one is a Central Banker. I love Central Banker.
Tried to run this horse on the turf twice. Got ringed out both times up at Saratoga last summer. So the intent.
You're sure the horse wasn't an MTO?
The
You're sure? You look back to make sure this horse wasn't an MTO?
My work was done. This horse was entered for turf.
You're sure?
I am positive.
Okay. Because my friend Steve is going to text me if you're wrong.
He can.
Okay.
So
he's looking it up furiously right now.
We'll see if she can turf, but. Again, another horse dropping down from the state.
I think that the theme to this race is to not be afraid. If you've got some goofy idea, some horse first time in the turf, because even the horse I picked, she's no superstar. She's not going to,
no.
she's
you
not.
Have to use the
but
horse,
I thought the race she comes out of was actually a more than fair, that figure, and I think she could be a little better.
You know what the problem with her biggest
She was entered for turf. Steve was sad to admit it.
I didn't need Steve to
He didn't have like a tier,
one
of those emojis with a tier.
The biggest problem with the filly you put on top right now is she's going to be the favorite.
I don't know about that.
I'll bet you a lunch on it.
No, I'm not betting a lunch on it.
She'll be the favorite now.
No lunches.
I think she'll be the favorite.
No, we bet enough lunches. Anthony, it's great to be back. It's great to see you. Anyhow, that's Talking Horses for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Of course, we have a 10-race card. All races from here. Churchill Downs as well. We'll be on the America's Day at the Races show, MSG Plus, Fox Sports 2 today. But also you can watch us on YouTube. So many places and ways to watch our races here. Anthony, thanks so much. Claude, our cameraman, right here. Claude, you going over there? You're going to be the cameraman over there too? You're going to be over there, the cameraman? Claude's doing all the work around here. Everybody's chipping in. All the guys in the truck doing a fabulous job.
And gals.
Gals. Yep.
Everybody's doing a
There's
fantastic
John, who
job.
yelled in my ear a little earlier.
Great
he says he wasn't yelling.
Johnny, it's great to see everybody. Great to be back.
Naturally loud, like Jose.
Great
Head over to Naira Bets.
Yes.
Get to Naira Bets. You got 1 day left, by the way, that 5% bonus. You
5%.
sign up on all your bets on Belmont Park. Free $25 play, plus we'll match up to 100% of your $200, up to $200 deposit bonus. New members only. The promo code is Belmont25. Good weekend coming up. Lots of good racing. Seems like a nice day out right now.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Thanks for joining us on Talking Horses. We'll see you again tomorrow, or I'll see you a little while. I'll be over there in just a few minutes.